There's old Erin Burnett lying her face off. Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings.
Yes, garbage. CNN's garbage. Garbage reporting. Trash. Great. Can you also report upon the fact that there was an increase in poisonings that came from regular people taking ivermectin because they don't have access to Joe Rogan's doctor, or just doctors in a lot of cases, and because of that they were very scared, and their favorite podcaster was saying, hey, by the way, I don't know if you should take the vaccine if you're a healthy person, depends, the jury's out on that, not FDA approved, kind of scary. A couple people have died from AstraZeneca, blood clots, scary stuff. What do you think? Hey, by the way, there's this drug, it hasn't been proven to be effective in treatment of COVID. It has been proven ineffective in treatment of parasites, and it's not FDA approved for the use in COVID in humans, but doctors, like my doctor, will prescribe it for me. So hey, good luck out there to my hundreds of millions of listeners. Hopefully none of you take that advice and go buy horse paste. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Oh, sorry. If you haven't been following the saga, Joe Rogan, the one who took the ivermectin to cure the COVID-19, he apparently just went right into a CNN anchor because they lied about him promoting horse paste or saying that he had taken horse paste, because he didn't take the horse paste. He took the ivermectin for people. There's ivermectin for horses and there's ivermectin for people. I haven't actually seen the clip yet. I'm really hoping Sanjay Gupta at one point is going to say something to the effect of, yes, you may not have taken it yourself, but I'm sure you can understand that the average American doesn't have access to multi-millionaire, like, celebrity doctors. That's not something most people have. And ivermectin isn't actually prescribed by doctors for treatment of COVID-19. So the average American doesn't have access to what you are touting as a life-saving miracle drug. What they do have access to is, of course, horse paste. So naturally, there was suddenly an increase in sales and poisonings from people taking horse paste, because their favorite podcaster, as well as numerous other people, had said that ivermectin could potentially cure them. The same people who you've been fear-mongering to for a very long time about not taking the vaccine, most likely unvaccinated, could potentially be getting COVID, and now are desperate and unfortunately are poisoning themselves taking horse paste. And this whole thing is just horrifying, and you should probably acknowledge your role in it, would probably be a good retort, is maybe something close to what I would have wanted to say.
Great interest. Dr. Sanjay Gupta over at CNN appearing on the Joe Rogan podcast. Both Crystal and I listened to the entire thing. I recommend that you all go do so as well.
The only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. We should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, you are not a horse, you are not a cow, stop taking this stuff, or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible for one of the inventors of it winning the Nobel Prize in 2015?
For what? For what, Joe? What did he win the Nobel Prize for? What's the drug's intended use? What's it really good at doing?
Yeah, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is.
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
Here. Somebody gave it to me.
Unfortunately, we're not watching the video version, but I assume at this point, if you needed me to narrate what was happening, Joe Rogan reaches under the counter and pulls out a giant heaping pile of horse paste and begins to swim inside it.
All right, hang on. The thing is, we're like going so fast. Like, I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem, that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude.
I mean, what did they say?
They lied and said I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
they
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch of other medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary.
Okay, so let's let's Political Puppy recept on Twitch. Oh, thank you, Political Puppy. By the way, Political Puppy, you don't have to sub on Twitch or anywhere. Just enjoy. Enjoy. I'll buy the subs for any of the mods. I've said this before. I am going to be really sad if during the entire course of this, Dr. Sanjay Gupta does not at least once say to him, "Do you understand the dangers of what you did, Joe?" Because yes, it's bad. It's bad on CNN, and CNN. Come on, I mean, if you're already on the left, you know CNN is just like trash, right? But shame on CNN for doing that. CNN very easily could have flipped the entire script on this thing and said, Joe Rogan takes experimental, unverified, un-FDA approved for its use, medication ivermectin as prescribed by his doctor, which of course is fear-mongering people who don't have access to other medicines to take the horse paste. They could have added that part instead of saying Joe Rogan eats horse paste. Yes, that's a lie. That's a factually incorrect statement. And you've given him so much fodder now, like so much more fuel that he can go around doing this.
Medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease. And as you say, it's probably, I think what, 250 million people have taken it around the world.
More,
I get that.
Way more.
So
way more. Billions of people have taken it.
The
Can I just come
world
back
has
to the one I
taken
want to
it,
talk
bro.
about? Two things on
You
the
have
Take
ledger.
it now, bro.
Before we get to that, does it bother you that the news network you work for
You know the worst part about this is that like the entire right-wing conservative sphere is going to love this. They probably already do. I can see like 1,000 Fox News stories, Breitbart, and I'm guessing Sagar is going to be on this side of it, being like, it's just so great to see someone hold CNN accountable. Accountable for their lies, their numerous lies. That's the takeaway, the important takeaway from all of this.
And just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer.
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before coming on your podcast.
But they did it with such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
they did. I watched.
You watched?
I watched.
You watched? No, I don't think there's
yes,
glee.
They did.
No one takes...
Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings. Yeah.
Jamie had to pull this up.
You want to play it?
Does she
This
have
is
glee?
your news network.
I'm going to watch.
Let's see.
I'm going to watch.
He then goes on to play Erin Burnett, describing it as, I think she says, veterinary medication. He also references Brian Stelter, who had said, when you have a horse deworming medication that's discouraged by the government, that actually causes some people in this crazed environment we're in to actually want to try it, that's the upside down world we're in with figures like Joe Rogan. So
Dead to
that's
rights.
something to watch.
That was, look, you're never going to see that. You're just never going to see it.
And again, I want to give both of these men credit for engaging and
it's almost verbatim what I predicted there.
You should really listen to the whole conversation because it is actually fascinating. They go through the different studies on ivermectin. They talk about myocarditis and the incidence among young boys. I mean, they really go through it all, and it is extraordinarily important and I think good to listen to. And
what is going on right now? Oh no, is Crystal joining the ivermectin crowd?
And so little of that dialogue has happened in American discourse. But to this moment right here, you see Joe's like fighter instinct. Gupta is on the ropes and he is not. He's not going to let him out.
Yeah, he had to tap. He had to tap.
He tries to change stuff.
So it's exactly as I predicted. Everyone's just like beside themselves, overjoyed that Joe's getting like this knockout punch on CNN. Okay, let's just do the thing. CNN is trash. CNN is trash. Don't watch CNN. They clearly have an agenda. It's mostly corporate, like most corporate media. I mean, outside of telling everyone watch Manufacturing or listen to the book, or read the book Manufacturing Consent, or watch the documentary Manufacturing Consent, you'll learn quite in depth how this entire system works. And then we can all agree: ABC, MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, all of them trash, dumpster fire, garbage. Not even hot. It's cold. It's disgusting. Do not feed it to your dogs, kind of shit. Okay. On top of which, Joe Rogan, he's beholden to no one. His podcast is a podcast. He just gets to say whatever happens up here and say it out there, okay? He's got the most popular podcast in the world, beyond the $100 million. I cannot fathom how many people he reaches on Spotify on a weekly basis. He has a responsibility with a platform that powerful, because, you know, back in the day, some of the reasons that, you know, things like in Canada, the CRTC existed, right, weren't just for the censorship of things that they found to be uncouth, like, oh, pornography, oh no, they might say the word pregnant on the air. I think that kind of censorship is ridiculous, all right? Let people say what they want to say. If people are using their platform to spread gross medical misinformation that can result in thousands, if not millions of people, tens of thousands of people at least potentially getting sick, then yes, there should be something that regulates that says, or even at the very least, there should be a disclaimer. Joe Rogan is not a doctor. Ivermectin is not approved by the FDA. The vaccine is a highly effective way of preventing the spread of COVID-19 in the populace and has been proven to be safe and is approved by the FDA. Something to that effect. Like, this is not simping for Big Pharma. I fucking despise Big Pharma. Now, I've done segments on how shitty Big Pharma is. This is about not spreading medical misinformation to a whole bunch of people who could potentially, like, the regular everyday person doesn't have access to a doctor that will give them ivermectin. They don't. That's why they're seeking out the horse paste. That's the story that CNN should have said if they were actually like a credible news agency. Okay? That's what everyone should have been saying. That at the end of the day, people just don't have these multi-millionaire celebrity doctors who can just be like, yeah, I got scripts. You want scripts? Here's your fucking scripts. Take all the scripts. All the ivermectin you want. And hydroxychloroquine. Take it all. Oh, hey, Jeff Waldorf. Everyone, go subscribe to Jeff Waldorf's channel, Jeff_Waldorf. You'll find him on the YouTubes as well. He's on the YouTubes and the Twitch.
This is going so fast.
Like,
let me talk. He's like, no. Why did they say it's, why did they lie and say it's horse dewormer? And he makes this really important point.
For ratings and for money. It's like, I'm sorry, there's not a massive conspiracy theory going. It's ratings and money. That's the reason why. It's the same reason Fox has been pushing vaccine lies and hysteria for so much. It's fucking ratings gold in this day and age. People are scared. And yes, if someone's on the TV every now and then being like, well, you know, someone randomly died from the vaccine. Can we not ask the important questions? Can we not ask what potential life-saving properties lie in horse and goat paste? If I do say that, will I be canceled?
And at another point, because this went on for quite a while.
Oh, this is like 10 minutes.
And recurring came up a couple times throughout the podcast because, not because Joe like cares about his own like ego or whatever, but because it's really important that people feel like a news network is being straight with them. And so he draws the connection of, okay, well, if they're going to lie about this thing, which is easily checkable and like obviously untrue, what else are they lying about?
So that's Breaking Point's take on this. Oh, yeah. What does Gutfeld have to say?
Network, including Don Lemon and Jim Acosta, to claim Rogan took horse dewormer as a COVID treatment. Last month, Rogan announced he'd test positive for the virus and had been prescribed several drugs to fight it, including ivermectin. Now that drug is FDA approved for use in humans for certain infectious diseases, and the formula for animal use is much
for fucking worms. I mean, be honest.
More concentrated. But that's not what Rogan was taking. But CNN didn't care and lied about it and said Rogan was taking horse pills. On Wednesday, he called them out.
They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs for veterinary.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network. You're talking.
Well, no, it is a horse dewormer, but it is a lie to say that you took the one intended for horses. You took the one intended for humans.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't.
His own pushed back and pushed back hard.
Watch your head.
Look at this guy sitting down over here. It's crazy.
I love the ending.
That's so funny. I love it. Joe Rogan, roast CNN. Oh, of course, Tim Pool's all over this one. I knew everyone would be, one after the other, you know?
We have two big stories right now. We have Steven Crowder getting a hard strike and a suspension, as well as Joe Rogan taking on Sanjay Gupta of CNN and calling him out for CNN's lies. I definitely want to go over Sanjay Gupta's essay he wrote about why he did it, because of course they don't accept accountability for being liars. In fact, Sanjay Gupta, after talking with Joe Rogan about how CNN lied, goes on with the host who lied, Aaron Burnett. But the big story to get started, and these are related stories in my opinion, and I'll explain why. Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, has received a hard strike over a show they did. YouTube has claimed that they were harassing the transgender community by doing it. And the concern here is that there is a related story to what Steven Crowder had done that happened in Loudoun County with a student who was assaulted in a bathroom, and it's led to a major scandal. Now, I wanted to make sure you guys knew what was going on with Crowder's suspension, mostly because I know you guys may be wondering why he's not on YouTube right now. This is, once again, YouTube, I think, is getting dangerously close. They want to remove Crowder based on the show he did.
I didn't know about this. We write again on YouTube's behalf regarding your client, Steven Crowder. YouTube has repeatedly instructed Mr. Crowder regarding his hate speech policy and warned him against continuing violations of that policy through the content he uploaded to YouTube. YouTube specifically informed Mr. Crowder that his video he uploaded showed a pattern of reckless targeting of the LGBTQ+ community for abuse and insults. It warned that further uploading of content that targets, insults, and/or abuses the LGBTQ+ community would result in additional penalties. On September 30th, Mr. Crowder uploaded another video that YouTube has determined continues his prior conduct. The video, entitled Special Guest Alex Jones on the Great Reset and Joe Rogan Triggers Left Us Again, contains a segment that targets the transgender community in an offensive manner, for example, by indicating that trans people pose a rape threat to women. Wild. YouTube. Finally. Holy shit. Like, we watched that sketch here on the show, and when I first saw it live, I was like, I cannot believe that YouTube can claim to have policies against hate speech and allow that sketch to continue. And I guess that sketch was their breaking point. And it was a horrifying, horrible sketch. If you didn't see it, Alex Jones basically plays like an angel or god or something, and they're in a prison, and then there's a woman who just went to a female prison, and then there's another prisoner beside her who is one of Steven Crowder's co-hosts or whatever, and he's got some makeup on, and then he's like, I'm a girl, and then it's like and then Alex Jones is like, and now he's going to rape you. Like, I was just like, this is one of the most blatantly transphobic sketches I have ever seen on YouTube. Like, in general, to be honest, but on YouTube nonetheless. And so they finally took a stance, but I guess that stance was a 1 week penalty. Fucking, I've had my entire channel taken down for fucking false flags. For like clearly fraudulent accusations that we were doing scams and malpractices or whatever. And then, yes, upon further investigation, YouTube was like, oh, yes, no, that was false. We apologized. Yes, it shan't happen again. Happens to the other channel. Exact same thing. Channel just disappears, gone, deletes. Fucking really goes to show you what happens when you have a lot of subs. What definitely wouldn't have helped Crowder's case is that Alex Jones was banned on YouTube as part of also it's like so many levels of nope to YouTube. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah. How is Steven Crowder appearing on everyone's shows right now? Like, he's doing this huge tour between like the Geeks and Gamers, that panel that the Quarterine was on. He popped up on that other conservative. He was on Tim Pool's show, and then Tim Pool was on his show. Then he was on Steven Crowder's show multiple times.
Special guest Alex Jones, Joe Rogan triggers leftists again. Many people have said that they didn't find it to be outwardly egregious.
Yes,
he was talking
totally
about very specific news stories, but YouTube says talking about instances.
What? Public Enemy? The actual account? Rest in power, Colin Powell? While we may not have agreed with him on many things, a strong man lost his battle today. Our condolences and prayers. Yeah. Damn. That's a big old wah-wah.
Where particular protected groups,
yeah, sorry, I mean Jones, Alex Jones, not Crowder,
groups are implicated in crimes is against the rules. So this is serious stuff. But what I wanted to point out first is you can always go to louderwithcrowder.com. You can go.
Oh yeah, great.
Joe Rogan. They claim
your
Joe
friends.
Rogan is so popular as of right wing. And I also think that Crowder has a right to do comedy bits the same as Dave Chappelle or any other comedian would do that YouTube is fine with.
Yes, they do. They all do. Guess what? Dave Chappelle wasn't canceled. He wasn't. He's been saying he was canceled since the second Netflix special, but he keeps making them, and he keeps getting tens of $1 millions to make them, and then millions and millions of people watch them. It's still in the top 10 of Netflix. Where is the cancellation? I don't get it. When does that part start? Because it seems like when you speak out about it, or you try to like get into meetings to like talk about these issues, as those like 2 trans employees did, and yes, they went into a meeting in which they weren't supposed to be in, and then one of them shared information she wasn't supposed to share. I would honestly say that she should go out and say that she's a whistleblower at this point. I would do a full whistleblower status on this thing. But it looks like they get canceled. Looks like they get canceled, no problem. Kind of looks like it's just like, boom, job gone. Yeah. But no, Dave Chappelle, totally fine. You know, it's like I don't understand where does that start?
Check this out. Check this out.
Everyone
Let's talk
should
about
be so
CNN,
lucky to be
'cause
canceled.
I really got to show you what Gupta said. It is laughably insane. Gupta actually wrote on CNN that he feared Joe Rogan would attack him. I'm not kidding. These people are nuts. From louderwithcrowder.com. Anti-vax misinformation making horse medicine taking.
Your source is louderwithcrowder.com. I used to make fun of Tim Pool for using Andy No as a source. This is way worse. This is so much worse.
According to CNN, Joe Rogan sat down with CNN's medical dude, Sanjay Gupta. It was a 3-hour conversation about the Fauci ouchie and people being hesitant towards it. This is excellent writing, by the way, from Brodegan on Louder with Crowder. Hop on Twitter and you can find tons of clips of Gupta, the medical expert, being rendered speechless by simple questions.
I can't tell if he's joking or if he's honestly like, yes, biting satire, witty at that. Ooh, indeed. Spinach Monster.
Monster gave Jack Sinder a tier 1 subscription.
I want to
Thank you. Hit new TV show Squid Game. Oh, I got this. This is going to be for the fun half. If we don't get to it today, we'll get to it tomorrow. Because I got a whole bunch of people's really like nuclear level takes on the Squid Game. Each one more ridiculous than the last. It always happens. There's like a piece of popular mainstream culture that everyone loves because it's good. It's just good. It's entertaining. It's well written. It's well acted. The Squid Game is engaging. I mean, there are a lot of faults with it. I think the Squid hysteria, by the way, is out of control. I'm going to say that much. Like, Squid Game fans, stop screaming the word Squid Game everywhere you go, including online, because you're going to ruin it for everybody. People who enjoy the Squid Game, like myself, are already sick of the fact that there's like 10,000 Squid videos every single day popping up all over the place. Like, I've got a brand new Squid Game theory for you. I've got a brand new Squid Game theory for you. Did you know the blue card and the yellow card and the red card and the green guy and the yellow guy and the VIPs and the elites? Like, goddamn. Okay, you're doing the Rick and Morty thing. Rick and Morty's funny. It's a good show. And Rick and Morty fans, they're insufferable. You know, like the fact that they were screaming to McDonald's for Pickle Rick and Szechuan sauce and all that stuff. It makes the whole thing look ridiculous. It kind of sucks.
Gupta's not used to that on CNN, where the only dialogue has to be approved by Joe Biden and or the CDC first. Rogan calling Gupta out for CNN lies about Rogan is more interesting. Flashback. Rogan caught the Rona. His doctor prescribed him a medication that is prescribed to human beings. CNN reported over and over again that Rogan took horse dewormer, something that is prescribed to by veterinarians. Rogan doesn't go to a vet. He goes to a people doctor. Rogan put Gupta on blast with a simple question. Why is your alleged news network lying about me? And then Gupta was like, oh, no, we didn't. Here's the quote. Does it bother you that the news network you work for outright lied about me taking horse dewormer? Gupta says they shouldn't have said that. Why'd they say that? I don't know. You didn't ask. You're the medical guy there. That. Absolutely. You're the medical guy there. Sanjay Gupta is the medical guy at CNN. And he went on with Erin Burnett. Did he call her out and say, hey, you know, you lied about Joe Rogan? Take a look at this. We have this from The Wrap, September 2nd. CNN medical analyst Dr. Jonathan Reiner debunked Joe Rogan's crazy jumble of nonsense COVID treatments on Wednesday night.
I knew it. I absolutely knew it. I knew as soon as this happened and I saw the Twitter highlights that this was going to be something that Tim Pool and every single one of them were so excited to talk about. Like, oh, yes, finally, CNN, we caught you. We caught you in a lie. I was like, God damn, do you know the amount of lies you can call the mainstream media out? I mean, hell, today's the day that Colin Powell just passed away. How about the way the mainstream media was reporting upon the war in Iraq or the build up to the war in Iraq? How about all the manufacturing consent that went on then? Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to talk about all the times like the mainstream media has been decidedly like a branch of the military industrial complex to push us further into conflicts that normal people wouldn't want? Normal human beings wouldn't be like, this is a good idea. Let's go into the country that hasn't ever attacked us. Yes, go there now. That sounds like a good fuck.
It was prescribed to him by a doctor. You know, this is why I keep telling people talk
that was the
to
breaking
a doctor.
point.
They're like, Tim, doctors are dumb. That's not an answer. That's not an excuse to not go to a doctor. Joe Rogan went to a doctor. He got a medical treatment. Do you disagree with Joe Rogan? I don't know. I don't think Joe Rogan. It's up to the doctor, not me. I'm not a doctor. Don't get medical advice from me. Take your questions to people who know better. And if you're really unhappy, go to Joe Rogan's doctor. If you like that. I mean, this is the crazy thing. Doctors are not a monolith, you know? Anyway, I said, weird. This doctor on CNN said Joe
End of
Rogan's medical
sentence.
treatment was completely wrong, yet somehow Joe got better and is now free of COVID. It's almost like CNN are a bunch of lying pieces of... I don't know.
Oh yeah, they can't swear. I forgot about that. You can swear on Twitter. You won't lose any monetization, Tim, if you swear on Twitter. You don't need to block out every letter. You could let yourself have like an H as a tweet, as a treat, like maybe S blank. Like would that feel kind of bad? You know, it would look like sit. So sit's not great, but you know, you'd have something. You'd feel like a bad boy for a day.
I know Joe got monoclonal antibodies, and I am under.
He does it because he wants to. Oh, that's even sadder. He does this because he wants. He knows. He's like, I know for a segment, I'm going to be putting up my own tweets and reading my own tweets live on air. I know that's going to happen, so I have to block it out.
I think that was actually what helped him. This is an EUA approved. It's the Regeneron treatment. We also have this. Look at the screenshot. There's old Erin Burnett lying her face off. Joe Rogan says he has COVID, taking livestock drug despite warnings.
Yes, garbage. CNN's garbage. Garbage reporting. Trash. Great. Can you also report upon the fact that there was an increase in poisonings that came from regular people taking ivermectin because they don't have access to Joe Rogan's doctor or just doctors in a lot of cases? And because of that, they were very scared. And their favorite podcaster was saying, hey, by the way, I don't know if you should take the vaccine if you're a healthy person. You know, depends. The jury's out on that. Not FDA approved, you know, kind of scary. A couple people have died from AstraZeneca. Blood clots. Scary stuff. What do you think? Hey, by the way, there's this drug. It hasn't been proven to be effective in treatment of COVID. It has been proven ineffective in treatment of parasites. And it's not FDA approved for the use in COVID in humans. But doctors, like my doctor, will prescribe it for me. So, hey, good luck out there. To my hundreds of millions of listeners. Hopefully none of you take that advice and go buy horse paste. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Everyone did, like Lauren Chen, of course, extremely happy about this.
Overall risk goal, especially obviously a human doctor. So this was just big fake news, and actually Joe Rogan joked about maybe even suing CNN because he was just so upset about the blatant lie, as he has every right to be. And even though Sanjay Gupta is not the person at CNN who used the term horse dewormer, I was glad to see that Joe Rogan did actually ask Sanjay about it when he was on the show.
Why would you say that when you're...
Man, they're all just so happy about this. Like, this was the breaking point. Sanjay Gupta reversing his medical marijuana stance. Well, I mean, I think the story here is pretty simple. Sanjay Gupta sucks. CNN sucks. Joe Rogan sucks. All of them suck. If you have friends or family that are unvaccinated, please try to help them. Find out what is the reason that they're so hesitant. Hopefully it's not because of someone like Joe Rogan or one of the other intellectual dark weebs who've been trying to push this idea that the vaccines are actually experimental and dangerous and all this kind of stuff. I mean, the only thing you really need to tell people is the simple cold fact that of the people who are dying from COVID in the United States, 99.5% of them are unvaccinated. 99.5% of everyone dying from COVID-19 now is unvaccinated. So I think that should, in and of itself, speak for... Well, I mean, it should speak volumes, you know? Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we will build a ladder to heaven to deliver you the daily news. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are your most humble of clownish jesters. To our lords, Trevor R. and Alexander Thaler, you have our undying fealty. To our knights of the round table, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariana McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Ants Are Still Running the World, Coulter Smith, Tom Groh, Val 9000, Jenna Tal, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Riley and Anna, Omni, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevor Janis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Chronic to Hemphog, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We shall meet you in the tavern, and we raise a drink, and we salute you.